No one really knows why this fight is happening, but one thing is clear: it could be extremely dangerous. Anthony Joshua is one of boxing's hardest punchers, and many believe he'll be looking to make a statement against Jake Paul. That's exactly why this matchup has become one of the most talked about topics in combat sports.
I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
Jake Paul has faced plenty of criticism throughout his boxing journey, but this challenge is unlike anything he's seen before. Joe Rogan has openly warned against the Anthony Joshua fight, saying the risks are simply too high. In his view, this isn't just another blockbuster event. It's a matchup that could have serious consequences. Once the fight was announced, Rogan didn't hesitate to share his opinion, calling it one of the most dangerous fights Jake could take at this stage of his career.
Jake Paul has lost his mind. This is probably the worst mistake of his career. Even in the poster, you can see this is a David and Goliath story here. I mean, there's times where I thought Jake is a cruiserweight. There's times where I thought even he could be a light heavyweight. And now he's stepping in with one of the most chiseled, bona fide heavyweights in the world right now in Anthony Joshua. I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it sounds fucking demented, terrifying. And speaking of the insanity of this thing, here is what the first line is. Jake as a plus 800. I have a feeling that's going to shift even more toward AJ. AJ's the 18-wheeler going 90 down the straightaway, and Jake is in a golf cart going 10 miles an hour, headed right back at the 18-wheeler. It's going to be freaking destruction. Look at the reach. He's got a 6-inch reach on Jake, and trust me, the Chloe concept has told me the 6 inches is more than enough, okay?
Anthony Joshua has knocked out some of the toughest fighters in the heavyweight division with a single punch. Now Jake Paul, who has mostly competed at cruiserweight, is preparing to face a much bigger opponent. Joe Rogan believes the size and power difference makes this an extremely risky matchup. While Jake has faced former MMA stars and experienced veterans, stepping into the ring with Joshua is a completely different challenge.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on, like you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous. It really is.
Anthony Joshua stands 6'6" with a clear edge in height, reach, and heavyweight power. He has already stopped some of the division's best fighters, and even with a 245-pound weight limit for this bout, the physical gap between him and Jake Paul remains significant.
So we've got Anthony Joshua, AJ, you get me? What a legend. And we've got Jake Paul, and he's a legend as well. Now, AJ is facing a lot of backlash because he's fighting Jake Paul. Ache. Understand, man. It's like football, you get me? You play for Barcelona. When you get older, you start going down a bit, and then everything is about money. Yes? Run it up. Now, everyone wants to see the Tyson Fury against AJ fight. We've been seeing it, but we've seen Alexander Usyk. He's been doing our guys wrong. He's been just winning. He's been in the way. So my take on this is it's dangerous for Jake Paul. Get me? A lot of people, Eddie Hearn, Dana White. I just done a full YouTube anyway. Just watch the full YouTube because, you know, there's a lot of people that's reacted to it, you get me? So, full YouTube out now.
This isn't just a small step up in competition for Jake Paul. He is stepping into the ring with a completely different level of fighter, where the size, strength, and power are unlike anything he has faced before.
First of all, kudos to Jake Paul. The cojones this motherfucker has. From a Disney kid to YouTube to... He can fight anyone, get views, and make fucking money. This crazy wild boy sends out the bat signal, the British bat signal for Anthony motherfucking Joshua. You know how crazy that is? I will say this. I don't think any of Jake Paul's fights are fixed in any capacity. At all. Not even close. I don't get down that narrative. I will say this, though. My spidey senses will go off.
Interview 5.
Anthony Joshua doesn't absolutely mop the floor with him.
Fighters like David Haye and Ariel Helwani have also warned about the risks involved. Joe Rogan stressed that size, weight, and power make a huge difference, especially against a former heavyweight champion like Anthony Joshua. He even pointed to Joshua's devastating knockout of Francis Ngannou as a reminder of just how dangerous heavyweight boxing can be.
He was quite special because he stopped me. He did what Tyson Fury couldn't done, you know. And you know, he wasn't my day, and he's just way better than me today.
That led Rogan to ask one important question. If someone like Francis Ngannou couldn't handle Joshua's power, what could happen to Jake Paul? Despite the concerns, Jake remains confident. He believes he can pull off another upset and has built his career by proving doubters wrong. But this time, he's facing a very different challenge than the opponents he's met in the past.
He has people around him that will be saying to him, mate, Anthony hasn't boxed for a year and a half. Mate, Anthony got dropped in his last fight. Anthony's head's all over the place. He's gone. So listen, fair fucking play. If he steps up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go, fair fucking play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative, but it would be a dangerous one. If we're offered it, and the money that I know is inevitable in a fight like that, it would be very difficult for us to turn it down. And I know some people will find a reason to not like it and moan, but I'm just going to give it to you straight always. We were going to have a run out this year in an 8-rounder against someone in the top, I don't know, 120 on BoxRec that you've never heard of. We could have a run out against Jake Paul, end him in boxing forever, get rid of this whole little silly thing, and make about 50 or 60x in the process. How can you turn it down? So if it's real, there is a chance. Jake's won fights that I didn't think he'd win. And Jake has got a lot better over the last couple of years. He ain't in Anthony Joshua's league, that's for sure. The only way this fight happens, if it's a fight, it's a sanctioned fight. I mean, ultimately, it's a cruiserweight stepping up to fight a heavyweight. I mean, previously, what did you have? You had a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, but that was an exhibition. This is no exhibition. This is the 10-ounce big boys, and this is a real fight. We've already really got our plans with Turki Al-Sheikh for 2026, which is ultimately to fight Tyson Fury, but also to have another fight in February. We got the phone call to say, look, obviously Gervonta's out, would you be interested in December? And the only other options we had for December was to do an 8-rounder on a card somewhere, which I didn't even know was going to happen. So I said to Nikisa, if you're truthful about this, which he assures me Jake is, then it could happen. So let's live in the real world, yeah? And let's just, everybody stay calm and make logical business decisions. What would you do, right? And please don't give me the, yes, but you have to think about the legacy here. You can't eat legacy, and legacy is so important. By the way, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. The legacy's okay. I wouldn't let him not take this fight. I would push him in the ring to take this fight. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Just relax. One, I don't even know if it's going to happen. 2, if it does, just relax. Enjoy us going in there for boxing and sticking one on his chin. We'll go back, we'll fight Tyson Fury, etc. So just relax. But how can you say no? How can you say no? What am I missing?
Anthony Joshua isn't a retired fighter or celebrity opponent. He's an active 2-time heavyweight champion with plenty left to prove. Rogan believes the excitement surrounding the event may have caused Jake to underestimate just how dangerous this fight really is.
I'm knocking this guy out, becoming the CEO of Matchroom Boxing and changing the plans, and it's going to be me versus Tyson Fury next year, and this is going to be fun. I want him to cut me up. I want him to break my face, but guess what? He's going to have to kill me to stop me, and I'm ready to die, seriously ready to die in the ring to win this fight.
Seriously ready to die. Seriously ready to die.
We're all born to die, baby.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
One of Rogan's strongest opinions was that the commission should carefully review this matchup again. He repeatedly raised concerns about fighter safety, pointing out that major differences in size and experience usually prevent these kinds of bouts from being approved. According to Rogan, Jake's popularity has made this fight possible, but stepping into the heavyweight division brings serious risks that shouldn't be ignored.
And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone
in their prime, who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
Not long ago, Jake Paul was being linked to a potential fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, a much smaller fighter who competes several weight classes below Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do any promotion, doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get...
After that matchup fell through following Tank's legal issues, Jake quickly shifted his attention toward finding another high-profile opponent, eventually setting his sights on Anthony Joshua.
I think Gervonta would have struggled in some aspects, but I think he would have got the victory.
I think Gervonta would have got the victory?
Yes, because of his counter-punching ability. So I think he would have how he done with Frank Martin, kept his tight guard, took some shots on the gloves, figured out his distance, and then counter-punched Jake to hurt.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Jake Paul didn't simply take a step up in competition. He chose to face an entirely different level of opponent, entering a division where every mistake can be costly.
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. He's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's gonna be a good card. It's a big fight, and it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even...
Joe Rogan described the decision as a huge gamble. In his opinion, moving from talks of fighting a lightweight like Tank Davis to facing a heavyweight like Anthony Joshua is a massive leap that comes with serious risks.
I don't blame Anthony for anything. I don't think that he's doing something wrong. I think that he's doing what he needs to do for himself, which is the proper thing to do, in my opinion. Now, as far as the fight, I think that maybe 6-7 rounds, maybe 5-6-7 rounds, Anthony will catch him with some shots and put him down, and I think the fight will be stopped. I don't think Jake presents a problem. I think that it's a low risk, high reward for Anthony.
What makes this matchup even more dangerous is Joshua's mindset. He isn't approaching it like a celebrity event or an exhibition. His training is if he's facing a real contender, knowing a convincing win over Jake Paul would build even more momentum before chasing bigger heavyweight fights.
Do you regret the Joshua fight not happening?
No, I don't. I don't regret anything. Life's too short for regrets.
What do you think of Jake Paul calling him out?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight.
Joshua has every reason to stay motivated, making this an even tougher challenge for Jake. With 8 scheduled rounds and standard professional rules, Rogan believes that's plenty of time for one big punch to change everything. Even after medical experts shared their concerns, Jake remained confident, posting training videos and insisting he's ready to prove his critics wrong once again.
Do you regret the Joshua fight not happening?
No, I don't. I don't regret anything. Life's too short for regrets.
What do you think of Jake Paul calling him out?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight.
Rogan believes Jake's confidence may be preventing him from seeing the real danger ahead. Throughout his career, Jake has often used criticism as motivation, but this time he's stepping in with an opponent capable of punishing even the smallest mistake.
Don't count him out. I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, we could have a big upset, But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, but I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out. Or AJ could take Jake Paul. Maybe, but I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting fight. I think I want to see that fight, to be honest with you.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Fans remain divided over the matchup. Some are excited by the spectacle and believe Jake has a chance if he lands a perfect shot.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky.
Others see things very differently. They believe the matchup carries too much risk and worry that the size and power difference could simply be too much for Jake to overcome.
Jake Paul's talking about fighting Gervonta Davis, who's 135 pounds. And then on the other hand, he's talking about fighting a 260 pound monster in Anthony Joshua. Listen, he's crazy enough to probably do it all if the money's right. But we're not really interested in waiting until 2016. And we're certainly not basing our career around a potential fight with Jake Paul. But if we were offered it, why not? I mean, it would be such an easy night's work, and it would be massive. And Jake's smart. Look, I know that we have our back and forth. Jake's improving as a fighter, and you have to respect the fact that he's dedicated not just to the business, but also to the hard graft of boxing. I still don't think he's particularly good, but he's a decent, some level fighter. But he's crazy. You know, at first, I always felt that Jake was just using these people's names. I think he's got that many people around him that I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks he's got a chance against Anthony Joshua. You know, Jake, I watched him, Jake. You'll knock him out. Yeah. It's like, you know. But, you know, there's a difference between fighting Gervonta Davis, even Canelo Alvarez, and then fighting AJ. You know, the other two you can get just humiliated and schooled and beaten up a little bit. The other one you can be fully decapitated in.
After Rogan shared his opinion, many fans agreed that his concerns deserved serious attention. While Jake has surprised people before and certainly improved as a boxer, this challenge is on another level. One clean punt from Joshua could change the entire fight. And if things go badly, Rogan believes the consequences could be far more serious than just losing on the scorecards.
What happens when, I think we both know, but for the sake of saying it specifically, if the two of them do collide in the ring,
Josh and Jake, yeah. I don't believe it. I don't believe a single thing until I see him in the ring. I don't believe any. Even if they come together for a press, I don't believe it. I don't genuinely believe he will climb into a boxing ring with 10-ounce gloves on with Anthony Joshua. It won't happen. It can't.
Hypothetically, if it does, how long does it last?
As long as Josh wants it to. Simple as that. As long as he wants it to. The same way it did with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. The same way it did with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou.
Joe Rogan's message was clear. Protecting your health should always come first. He wasn't questioning Jake Paul's courage. He was questioning whether this risk is truly worth taking. Now it's your turn to decide. Should Jake move forward with the fight, or should he reconsider before it's too late? Share your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Ring Chronicles, and we'll see you in the next one.